Those are online. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
See here we have lot of issues. Power cut. Okay. There is no charge in my device, but I'll try my best to take. But how will I project and show to you guys? Okay, I'll use this. Okay, so I have some problems in front of me. Yesterday, since most of you wanted the concept for relations and functions. So can you all come up with specific questions which you want me to help with? Yes. So the questions I have here is related to domain and range. Okay. Okay. So it's related to domain and range. Basically, see, when you talk about a function, those are only, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So when you talk about a relation and function, can you tell me what is the difference between these two first? Can you tell me what is the difference between these two in the first place? That's right. So to put it simple, both these are related to two different sets. So you have a set A and set B, right? So you have elements x1, x2, so on till xn. You have the elements y1, y2, so on till ym, for instance. Okay. If x1 is related to y1 and x1 is related to y2 also, there is this kind of a scenario possible, provided this is a relation. So what is the meaning of relation? One element can be associated with multiple other elements also. Okay. Whereas if the same relation has to get constrained and become a function. So functions are basically special types of relations. You know all these things, right? So functions are basically special type of relations. What happens in them? When you talk about two sets, let's say 1, 2, 3 is here, ABC is here. If one is related to A and 2 is related to B, right? I can still call this as a relation, but not a function yet. Why? Because in the first set, every element should have an image, and that every element should, every image should have a pre-image. Every image should have a unique pre-image. You're able to understand? Meaning, if 3 is related to C, this can be called as a function. Similarly, if I take 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, D, 1 is related to A, 2 is related to B, 3 is related to C, but D does not have any pre-image. Can I call this as a function? It is a function. So for function, important point is you should only concentrate on set A. So in set A, every element should be associated only with one element in set B. So how will you put it in simple terms? Can you please just make a note of it? You just open a new page and write it down as revision class for revision class for relations and functions. Just put today's date, 14/7. Yeah. So first one is a function. Second one is also a function. Why? Every element of set A is associated with only one element in set B. See, I'm saying one element in set B. I'm not using the word unique element in set B. I'll tell you what is the difference. So first is a function. Second is also a function. Am I right? So I'll just give time for you to make a note. Down, huh? Yeah. Just thinking the call is back 6% or 7 or is it okay? Okay. Shall we do the next one? I mean, discuss the next example. Observe 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, D. 1 is mapped to A, 2 is mapped to A, 3 is mapped to A. Is this a function? Yes or no? How many of you say no? Not. You're saying yes. Why? Image need not be unique. This is still a function. As long as every element from set A is associated only with one element in set B, it is a function. Okay. So this is a function. Just for your knowledge, I'm giving you, this is called as many to one function. You can make a note of it. You learn about what is this many to one function next year. What is it called? Many to one. Why is it many to one? So more than one element of set A is related only to one element in set B. Want to wash your face, sir? You're fine. Your phone no put. Okay. So what about the previous case? In this case, if you observe this one and this one, each element is associated only with one element in set. This is also called as 1, 1 function. Okay. This is again only for your knowledge. If at all there is suddenly an MCQ coming and you want to answer it, you can just answer. So why is it called as 1, 1 function? Because one element from set A is associated only with one element in set B. Name itself is such a, right? So now you got a grip of what is function. Right. The next question that we need to answer is, right, what is domain and range of a function? So this is the most important concept based on which questions can be framed. Okay, what do you mean by domain and range? So what is domain? So what is domain and what is range? Yes. Can you tell me? So domain is basically what happened? So domain is basically set of all elements from A. It is a set of all elements from the set A, which are associated with a finite number. Which are associated with a finite number. What is the meaning of this? If I take y is equal to f of x. Okay, if I take y is equal to f of x, generally the elements x1, x2, so on till xn is going to be the set of domain. The elements y1, y2, so on till yn is going to be the set of range. Okay, so basically you have two terms. What is the domain? Range, and the third term is also there. Can you tell me what it is? It is a codomain, right? So what is domain? Domain is all the elements from the first set which are participating in the function. Basically, the first set itself, if you are defining a function, the first set itself should be called as the domain, because every element will participate. That is what we told. Are you able to understand what I am trying to say? Every element in set A will participate in the relation. Hence, the set A itself is called as the domain set. Then what is set B called as? Set B is called as the codomain set. See, I'll take this example. So I'll take the first example. What is the domain of this function? So domain is 1, 2, 3. What is the codomain? A, B, C. What is the range? A, B, C. So in this case, what is happening is codomain is equal to range. So what about the second example? So domain is again 1, 2, 3. Codomain is A, B, C, D. Then what about the range? Range is only A, B, C. So where does the range set come from? Range set comes from the concept of second set. It comes from the codomain set. So basically, they can ask a question like this also. How is range and codomain related? Range is a subset, or it can also be equal to codomain. Range is a subset, or it can also be equal to the codomain. So when can you tell me the example where it is equal? The first example. The first example. Second case, codomain. Sorry, range is a subset of the codomain. Clear with that? In this example, what is the domain? Domain is 1, 2, 3. What about the codomain? What about the range? That's it. Okay. Sure. So range is going to be A. I hope it is clear, right? Now let's get into the real problem. That is, suppose there is a question like this. F of x is equal to 1 divided by square root of x minus 5. Now for this, we need to find domain and range. How do we do this? I'll tell you the steps for domain. So basically, what is domain? Set of all values of x for which f of x is finite. This word should be remembered. So this is not the book definition, this is my definition. Okay, this is what I follow to solve all the problems. Listen to this carefully. Set of all values of x for which f of x is finite. Finite in the sense you should not get the value infinity. If you look at the function that is there, is there a possibility for f of x to generate infinity? When can a function generate infinity? Only when the denominator is 0. So here what I need to concentrate upon is, I need to concentrate only on the denominator. So first of all, if I observe the denominator is square root of something. So whenever you have a problem based on square root, okay, you should write value inside the square root is greater than 0 or greater than or equal to 0. Why did I put an or? Because you will write greater than 0 if the square root is in the denominator. You write greater than or equal to 0 if the square root is in the numerator. Is this point getting registered? What is the domain of this term? R minus 5. Did you understand till here? Okay. So I'll parallelly switch on the. Need more space for it. Okay. Those who are online are able to understand this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now what should I write? I should write. What did I say? Value inside the square root should be greater than 0. Right? What is the value inside square root? X minus 5. So x minus 5 should be strictly greater than 0. That implies x should be greater than 5. So what does x belong to? The least value it can take is 5 and the highest value it can take is infinity. 5 and infinity both are not included. Why? Because it is greater than. I didn't write greater than or equal to. Am I clear with this point? So what was the question? Guys, I'm leaving. Those who are online are able to see and hear
Yes, sir.
the sound.
Yes, sir.
Again, the sound. It should be fine now. Okay. Idua. Again, the. Okay. The volume option area. Yeah. I think now it is fine. So listen. F of x is equal to 1 divided by square root of x minus 5. So whenever you have square root in the denominator, right, you will write the value inside the square root to be strictly greater than 0. Right, when you write it to be strictly greater than 0, then x is going to be greater than 5, which implies x belongs to 5 to infinity. This 5 to infinity is going to be the domain. Now, how do you find the range of this? Right. Listen to this carefully. If you want to find the range of a function, right, if you want to find the range of a function, the first step is put y is equal to f of x. That is the first step. Okay, I'm giving you the algorithm. You can solve any problem using these steps. So first step is put y is equal to x. Second step is, right? Second step is write x in terms of y. Okay, write x in terms of y. And third step is find values of y for which x is defined. So these are the 3 steps. Apart from this, you need not do anything. Okay. So first step, I'll write y is equal to 1 by square root of x minus 5. So y is equal to f of x. Right? In the place of f of x, I wrote the second step. What should it be? Write x in terms of y. So cross multiply x minus 5 is equal to, can I write it as 1 by y square? Can I write it like this? Yes. So x minus 5 is equal to 1 by y square, which implies x is equal to 1 by y square plus 5. I told write x in terms of y. Right. So x will be equal to y square plus 5 divided by y square. Is this point clear? So this is the first step. This is the second step. Okay. What is the third step? Find the value of y for which x is defined. Meaning, I need to find out the domain of this function. So I need to find the domain of this function. Why I'm calling it as a function is, function need not be always in the form y is equal to f of x. This is a function where it is written as x is equal to f of y. So whatever is inside this f is called as the, whatever is inside this f is called as the independent value. What is called as independent value. And the range of that set is going to give you the domain. So if you observe in the previous case, what did we do? Y is equal to 1 by root of x minus y, no, x minus 5, no. You found the values of x. So basically this is f of x.
When you found the values of x, you called it as domain of y is equal to f of x. If I find the value of y, what will I call it as? I'll call it as domain of f of y. Okay. Now tell me, when will this be defined? Listen. So x is equal to y square plus 5 by y square. Correct. So this is basically a rational function. What do you mean by rational function? It is a polynomial function by another poly. You know this or not? You know this, right? Polynomial divided by polynomial. So if you look at only polynomial function, the domain is real numbers. If I ask you what is the domain of y square plus 5 as a single function, it is real numbers. If I ask you what is the domain of y square alone, the domain is real numbers. But here what is happening, polynomial by polynomial is coming. Whenever fraction comes, if you look at this whole problem, it is all about fraction only. Wherever fraction comes, you need to ensure that the denominator is not equal to 0. What should happen? You should take always that the denominator is not equal to 0. So this x is equal to y square plus 5 by y square will be defined only when y square is not equal to 0. Oh, 1 plus 5y square. Huh? Okay, but still it is going to be the same thing. So it is 1 plus 5y square divided by y square. Okay. So when you look at this function, denominator should not be equal to 0. Whereas numerator is a polynomial function. For numerator, the domain is real numbers. So y square should not be equal to 0 means y should not be equal to 0. Meaning y belongs to all real numbers except 0. This is going to be, what is this? This is the range. Did you understand? So these are the 3 steps to be followed. I don't know how they taught in your school. Okay, this is a standardized procedure in which you can solve any problem. Like this, I'll solve how many other problems you give me, I'll solve it in the same range. Is this clear? Just make a note. So if you're clear with this, I'll proceed. Done? Okay. See, I'm going to frame a question now. I'll frame a question. F of x is equal to square root of x square minus 4. Okay. F of x is equal to square root of x square minus 4. Find the domain and range of this function. Okay. So listen to this carefully. I'll solve it. So solution is, whenever you have something inside a square root, see, x square minus 4 is a polynomial function, right? X square minus 4 is polynomial. But when a polynomial function, or for that matter, any algebraic function is inside a square root, you need to ensure that the value is either greater than 0 or greater than or equal to 0. Here, x square minus 4 is in the numerator. So it should be x square minus 4 should be greater than or equal to 0. This is the first step. So after you writing this in exam, what you're supposed to write is x square minus 4 should be greater than or equal to 0 for the function f of x to be defined. Just to write the detailed solution of this. Okay. So when x square minus 4 is greater than 0, can I factorize this? Can I write this as x minus 2 into x plus 2 is greater than or equal to 0? Okay. If that's the case, I'm going to take the number line. On this number line, I will take the checkpoints. What are the checkpoints is, if I equate x minus 2 to 0, 2 is one checkpoint. If I equate x plus 2 to 0, minus 2 is one checkpoint. Right. So first I will check what will happen completely on the left of minus 2. When I substitute a value less than minus 2 in this, what will happen? Observe. When I substitute anything less than minus 2, let's take minus 3. If I substitute minus 3, this will become minus 5 into minus 1. So minus of minus is going to be plus. So what is the overall multiplication factor supposed to be? The multiplication factor should be positive, or it can be 0 also. Okay. So anything on left of minus 2, it is going to be positive. Between minus 2 to 2, if I substitute a value, let's say I'm substituting 0. So 0 minus 2 is minus 2, 0 plus 2 is plus 2. So minus 2 into plus 2 is negative. So any value between minus 2 to 2, if I substitute, I'll get a negative value. Now I'll substitute a value greater than 2. So what will happen? If I substitute 3 here, 3 minus 2 is positive, 3 plus 2 is positive. So I'll get a positive value here. Now, if I look at the number line, right, this is a number line. Tell me what is the range of x values. So here if I'm using the word range, it is not the range of the function, range of x values. Range of x values for which this function is generating positive value. So it starts with minus infinity. Observe, this is plus infinity. It starts from minus infinity to minus 2. Now the question is, should I include that minus 2 or not? I should include it because I have an equal to sign. Had the equal to sign not been there, exclude it. Because greater than 0 means when you substitute minus 2, what will happen? When you substitute minus 2 here, it will be 0. So the inequality says that it can be greater than or at the max equal to 0 also. So minus infinity is never included. Infinity is never included. So minus infinity to minus 2, union 2 to infinity. Infinity is never included. 2 is included in this case. So what is this? This is the value of x. So basically you will write it as x belongs to this value. Am I clear with this? So what is this? This is the domain. So this is going to be the domain of the function. Okay. And just make a note of this. Those are online. I hope I'm clear.
Yes, sir.
Those are online.
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Yeah. Shall I proceed? Okay. Now the question is about finding the range of this function. So how do we find the range? So for range, the process is again very simple. What is that we are supposed to do? Replace this f of x with y. So y is equal to square root of x square minus 4, and this is the step number 1. Now what should you do? Step number 2 is write x in terms of y. So I want only x on left side, right hand should be a complete function of y. So first I need to square it. Y square is equal to x square minus 4, which implies x square is equal to y square plus 4. Accepted. X square is equal to y square plus 4. So this implies x is equal to plus or minus square root of y square plus 4. Right. So can you tell me what will be the value of y that belongs to? So here it says y belongs to all real numbers, right? But listen to this carefully. First step itself, if you observe, y is equal to square root of something. No, square root will generally generate what kind of values? So y is greater than or equal to 0 from here. That's what you wrote. No, x square minus 4 is greater than or equal to 0, and y belongs to R, right? So y is greater than or equal to 0 is going to be this. Y is equal to R is going to be this. So what is the intersection of these two? Which is a common area for both? So y is greater than or equal to 0 is what the answer is. If whatever x value you substitute, you will always get a positive value of y. That is the meaning of this. Actually, what is the range I gave in the previous problem? That's wrong. Actually, it's my mistake. Sorry. Previous problem also we need to apply the same logic. Y will give what value? Y will only give you positive values. It will only give you positive value because square root is there. No, please change that. No, the previous problem also change it as y greater than 0. Okay. I hope you could understand why it is greater than or equal to 0. Why is it so? Because of the square root. I mean, you can stop with that. But generally, sometimes if you do this, maybe you will get something out of this. Right. So that is why I always try to do it till the end. See, it's very simple. This is actually a textbook problem only, but the question is, they asked you only the domain. Only difference is instead of x square minus 4, the question would have been x square minus 9. I think it is exercise 2.2. Check third or fourth problem, sir. Will it is 2.3 after the 2.3. There is a question of root of 9 minus x square. No, it is something similar. See, had the question been x square minus 9, can you tell me, following the same procedure, what would have been the domain? Okay, minus infinity to minus 3 union 3 to infinity. That would have been 6. But now you got the algorithm of how the power cutter area.
Progress.
So can you solve the problem of the first step? That's the answer. Y greater than or equal to 0 and y belongs to R. Okay. And y belongs to R. So the intersection of both is going to be greater than or equal to 0. That's the answer. So the domain, what is the range of the function? It will be greater than or equal to 0. That's the answer. So range is basically the values of y and domain is basically the values of. You can write like this. You can write like this. So 0 to infinity. 0 to infinity is the same as y greater than or equal to 0. Another I asked you to do complete. You asked me, no, can we stop with this stuff? Another no solution. Had the question been 4 minus x square, things would have been. Okay. So I hope you could do the right. Now my question is, let's slightly twist it on the other side. We suppose the question is f of x is equal to root of 9 minus x square. The same problem from your textbook. Okay, root of 9 minus x square. Find the domain and range. When you change the when you take the minus sign to the other side, the inequality changes. Correct. What you asked is right. So what will be the first step, guys? 9 minus x square should be greater than or equal to 0, which implies if I take the minus sign out, x square minus 9 should be greater than or equal to 0. Yeah, sorry. 9 minus x square is greater than or equal to 0. So minus of x square minus 9 should be greater than or equal to 0. Right. Now, x square minus 9 will be less than or equal to 0. Whenever you take the minus sign to the other side, inequality will change. So less than or equal to 0, which implies x minus 3 into x plus 3 is less than or equal to 0. Then what does x belong to? Draw that number line. You need not ask me. What are the checkpoints? Minus 3, 3. You substitute a value less than minus 3. You substitute a value less than minus 3. Let's say minus 4. This is negative, negative. Negative into negative, you're getting positive. You substitute a value between minus 3 to 3. Substitute 0. You will get negative. If substitute a value greater than 3, take 4. You will get positive. So what is that? What is expected in this problem? You need less than or equal to 0. Look at the question. You need less than or equal to 0. So where is it negative? In which interval is the function coming out to be negative? X belonging to minus 3 to 3. But minus 3 and 3, they both are included or excluded. Look at the inequality. You need not ask me anything. Inequality is strictly greater than or greater than or equal to? Equal to, no, then they are included.
Check and see. So here also the question is there 26th. Find the domain of so listen. Y is equal to root of 9 minus x square, which implies y square is equal to 9 minus x square. From here, what can I say? X square is equal to 9 minus y square, which implies x is equal to square root of 9 minus y square. So first of all, from the question itself, what can you say? Y is greater than or equal to 0. Y is greater than or equal to 0. That is equation number. That is equation number 1. From here, what can I conclude? 9 minus y square is greater than or equal to 0, which implies y belongs to minus 3 to 3. Right. So y greater than or equal to 0 and y belongs to minus 3 to 3. What will be the answer? Which is smaller? See, y greater than or equal to 0 intersection. Y belongs to minus 3 to 3. What will be the answer? Do you understand? See, going forward, will you be able to solve the problems based on this? Can I give one last problem? Okay. So change the question to 1 by root of 9 minus x square. Y is equal to domain and range. That's not how I solve. Minus of, put a bracket. 1 by 9 minus x square. Square root of 9 minus x. So x belongs to, let's see who is able to come up with the answer. It's very simple. If you know the previous problem, you can tell the answer directly. See, answer will be minus 3 to 3 only. There is nothing much to think. Minus 3 to 3, only thing is the bracket will be open, that's it. If the problem is the same, if it is in the numerator, you will get included brackets. If it is in the denominator, you will get excluded bracket. That is how you get the answer for domain. Did you guys understand? Then what about the range? 9 minus x square is equal to 1 by y square, which implies x square is equal to 9 minus 1 by y square, which is 9y square minus 1 divided by y square. First of all, y will come out to be strictly greater than 0. Okay, that is equation number 1. By looking at the question itself, you can say y is greater than 0. Right? Similarly, by looking at this expression, what can you conclude? 9y square minus 1 is a polynomial. Denominator y square is a polynomial. So whenever you have a polynomial by a polynomial, you need to always ensure that the denominator is not equal to 0. So y is greater than 0. So answer will be something on modulus. So those who are online, can you please confirm if you could understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm asked to solve a problem based on modulus, right? Okay. So there is a question here. 38 in this book, which says f of x is equal to mod of x minus 1 plus mod of x plus 1. Right? X belongs to minus 2 to 2. X belongs to minus 2 to 2. Okay. So mod of x minus 1 plus mod of x plus 1. X belongs to minus 2 to 2. This is expected to be redefined. So what is the meaning of this? I'll tell you what is the meaning of redefinition. For that, I need to explain what is modulus function. If I take f of x is equal to mod x, I can redefine this function as f of x is equal to, you'll open a bracket like this, you will write it as x. You will write it as x when x is greater than or equal to 0. See, generally some books refer it like this. I write it in this way. When x is greater than 0, it is 0 when x is equal to 0. It is minus x when x is less than 0. Everybody knows this? Knows that? So this is the meaning of redefining. Now if you see, how will you find this checkpoint is, whatever is there inside the modulus, you need to equate it to 0. So in this case, what is there inside the modulus? Oh, it is only x. So equate that x to 0, it tells you that you need to break this modulus function and write it at the point 0. Did you understand? Why did we take only 0? Why did we not take 1? Because it's saying whatever is inside the modulus equated to 0, it will tell you at what value you are supposed to break that function. That is the key point to solve a modulus function. Now, having said this, if I observe mod of x minus 1 plus x plus 1, mod of x plus 1 separately, if I observe mod of x minus 1, where should I break that function? I should break the function where x minus 1 is equal to 0. So when I write x minus 1 is equal to 0, where should I break it? X is equal to 1. Similarly, when I write this mod of x plus 1 is equal to 0, I need to break it at minus 1. But what is the domain of the function? Minus 2 to 2. So meaning of this is, on the number line you have minus 2, you have 2. That is the domain of the function. Between minus 2 and 2, you have the points minus 1 and plus 1.
So I need to understand what is happening to the function between -2 to -1, between -1 to 1 and 1 to 2. Clear with that? So if I write for mod of x minus 1, observe how I'm going to break it. I will write the value inside the function, inside the modulus as it is, x minus 1 as it is. When will that happen? When x minus 1 is greater than 0. That is when x is greater than 1. I'm repeating this, listen to this carefully. You will write the inside function completely positive when the inside function is greater than 0. Similarly, I will write it at 0 at x equal to 1. Why 1? Substitute 1 and see. No, if I substitute 1 here, 1 minus 1 is 0. So whichever point you are breaking, that should be the limit at which you are defining it. It should be minus of x minus 1 when x is less than 1. See, listen to this carefully. F of x is there. How did I write it? I wrote it as, see, I wrote it as x. Don't look at it like x. Look at the value inside the modulus. What is inside the modulus in this question? In the slide that you are able to see, it is only x. So you will write as it is when x is greater than 0. Similarly, you will write it as 0 when x is equal to 0. How did you get that x is equal to 0? You equate that function to 0. Okay, and you will write it as minus x when x is less than 0. So what I did with mod of x minus 1 is, I wrote the function inside as it is, x minus 1, when instead of x, what do I have inside? Instead of x, what do I have? So when x minus 1 is greater than 0, when x minus 1 is greater than 0, is that not x is greater than 1? Similarly, I'll write it as 0 when x minus 1 is 0, which implies x is equal to 1. I'll write it as minus of x minus 1 when x minus 1 is less than 0, which is. So that is what I wrote here. Okay. Is your brain working? Are you able to understand? So using that logic, I want you people to break and tell me what is for x plus 1. Mod of x plus 1, you break and show. So first copy this. First copy this. Those who are online, are you able to understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Done? Others? You're done? So I'll write it here, check if you have written the same thing. Mod of x plus 1. It is x plus 1 when x is greater than minus 1. 0 when x is equal to minus 1. Minus of x plus 1 when x is less than minus 1. Is the point here? Okay. Now this is where the trickiest part starts. Concentrate. Actually, it is a very good question, but mostly it is used in 12th standard. But listen to this here. Okay. So between minus 2 to minus 1. So I'm checking for the values less than minus 1. So for less than minus 1, should I check this or this? Should I check the top one or the bottom one? Bottom one. So for the value less than minus 1, right, I'll check the bottom one. So when I check the bottom one, what should I take? That is when x belongs to minus 2 to minus 1, Why did I take minus 2 to minus 1? Because the domain is between minus 2 to 2 and the checkpoints are between minus 1 and 1. So I need to break it like that. Okay. So when I take it between minus 2 to minus 1, what is happening to x minus 1? Between minus 2 to minus 1, among the three values that are present here, I'm using another color observe. Among the three values, three functions present here, which one should I pick? When x is less than, see, when it is between minus 2 to minus 1, okay, when x is between minus 2 to minus 1, which one should I take among all the three? Look at the values here. X greater than 1, x equal to 1, x less than 1. Which one should I take? I should take x less than 1. You know, x less than 1 is on the negative side. Minus 2 to minus 1 is there here. So what is the common area? Minus 2 to minus 1. So I will write mod of x minus 1 as negative of x minus 1, right? Plus is there here. Mod of x minus 1, what should I write? Sorry, mod of x plus 1, what should I write? Minus of x plus 1. I will take this one. Did you understand why I took that? That is more important for me. Guys, concentrate. Did you understand why I chose this function and this function? Why? Because I am not choosing it. I'm breaking the domain in such a way. In that domain, I'm checking which function is working. So if I solve this, what will I get? Minus x minus 1, minus x minus 1. So minus x plus 1, minus x minus 1. So actually you will get minus 2x. So basically the sum of this modulus function and this modulus function between minus 2 to minus 1 is how much? Yes. So there is a small correction in the way I've represented. Can you do it? It is x less than or equal to, sorry, x greater than or equal to minus 2. Why? Because minus 2 is having a close bracket. Am I clear, guys? These are all the very minor points you need to focus on. Okay. Now you tell me what should I take the next one? X greater than inga parunga, look at this. So x greater than minus 1 means it is on the right hand side. So when x is greater than minus 1, what function should I take? X greater than minus 1. So here it will be x plus 1. Right? When x is greater than minus 1, what can I write for this function? So what should I write there? Actually, this is where the trickiest part is starting. This one. Okay. So first you tell me how to write for x greater than 1 and less than or equal to 2. That we'll sort it out first. Yeah, first one is x plus 1 now. X minus 1 plus. So how much will you get? You are getting 2x. So in between value alone, we need to break it. Are you able to understand? So how will you break it? Just try to substitute and see. X belonging to minus 1 to 1. Okay. I'll erase these things. Now you can observe confident. So if x minus 1 and between -1 to 1, what we have? இல்லடா ஒண்ணும் இல்ல, need not break your head. -1 to 1 ல ஏதாவது ஒரு வேல்யூ சப்ஸ்டிட்யூட் பண்ணி. So 0 எடுத்துக்கோ, what we have? So 0 எடுத்தா mod of x minus 1 ல what will you get? You will get mod of -1. But what is the answer? 1. அப்ப என்ன பண்றோம் ஆக்சுவலா? It is minus of x minus 1. அப்ப இதுதானே எடுக்கணும். அதான். Are you able to understand? So minus of x minus 1 plus x plus 1, what should I do? எது? இல்ல இல்ல, we should take this, no. ஏன்னா x is greater than 1 இல்லடா, x is greater than -1 ஆல x plus 1 தான் எடுக்க போறேன். இங்க பாரு, x is greater than -1, இங்க x is less than 1. So x is less than 1 ல இத பார்க்கணும், x is greater than -1 ல இத பார்க்கணும். அப்ப அந்த functions எடுத்து you take the respective functions and write it. -x and -x are gone, you will get the answer as 2. புரியுதா? See, there is no other option in the problem. இப்படிதான் பண்ணியாகும். இல்ல, it's 0. I told you for your understanding. Here. Did you guys write down the function which I broke? That part you have written. Can you tell me those parts alone? See, mod of what is the question? X mod of x minus 1, mod of x plus 1, right? So how did I break x minus 1 as x minus 1, 0 and minus of x minus 1? This is when x is greater than 1. This is when x is equal to 1. This is when x is less than. Okay. Again, x plus 1 when x is greater than -1. 0 when x is -1. Minus of x plus 1 when x is less than -1. Okay. So -2 less than x less than 2. What did we write? How did we break this as -2? So domain of the function is between -2 to 2. So we broke it as -2 less than or equal to x less than -1. Remember, why -1? We broke it. That you understood, no? Okay. இப்ப -2 to -1 அப்படின்னு பார்த்தா what should I take? X is greater than -2, less than -1. இப்ப x is less than 1 ன்னா, can I say x is less than -1 also? Number line, see, all that you have to do is number line போட்டுக்கோங்க. -2, -1, 1 and 2. So 1 விட கம்மியா இருக்குன்னா இதுதான், ரைட்? அதே மாதிரி -2 to -1 இந்த ஏரியால காமனா இருக்கிறது I will take it. So that is why when it comes to x minus 1, among 3, which one should I choose? This one. That is why I chose minus of x minus 1 plus. For x plus 1, what should I choose? So that is why you got the answer as -2x. Okay. So this is where we need to understand x greater than -1, less than 1. This is the point. இதுவா? இது for x mod of x minus 1. ரெண்டு ஃபங்க்ஷனும் சேர்த்தா தான் இது ஒரு ஃபங்க்ஷன். நான் என்ன சொல்றேன்னா -2 to -1, அதாவது எக்ஸ் வேல்யூ வந்து when it is lying between -2 to -1, how should I write mod of x minus 1? How should I write mod of x minus 1 is the question. So mod of x minus 1 ல மூணு ஃபங்க்ஷனை உடைக்கிறோம்டா. அதுல which function should I take? அதான் இது. ஏன் அந்த ஃபங்க்ஷனை சூஸ் பண்ற சொல்ல முடியுமா? I am only checking what is the domain of the function. Okay. அதே மாதிரி இங்க ஏன் இதை எடுக்கிறோம்? ஏன்னா x is less than -1. இது வரைக்கும் புரியுதா? When x is between -1 to 1, இதுதான் tricky partல. So when x is between -1 to 1, okay, when x is less than 1, எந்த ஃபங்க்ஷன் எடுப்போம்? minus of x minus 1. So minus of x minus 1 first எடுக்கிறோம். Plus. இப்ப x is greater than -1, what should you take? அப்ப minus x and plus x will get cancelled. Minus of -1 is +1. +1 plus 1 is 2. புரியுதா? அப்ப x greater than 1, less than or equal to 2. நீயே சொல்லு. x greater than 1 னா see 1 வந்து டொமைன்ல எந்த ஃபங்க்ஷனுக்கு இருக்கு? லெஃப்ட்ல இருக்கா ரைட்ல இருக்கா? of what I have written. இல்லடா x greater than 1 வந்து ஃபங்க்ஷன் ஃபார் லெஃப்ட் ஃபங்க்ஷன், கரெக்ட்டா? அந்த லெஃப்ட் ஃபங்க்ஷன்ல லெஃப்ட் மட்டும் ஃபோக்கஸ் பண்ணு. x is greater than 1 னா லெஃப்ட்ல எந்த ஃபங்க்ஷன் எடுக்கணும்? among the 3 எடுத்துட்டியா? பிளஸ் இப்ப ரைட் சைடு ஃபங்க்ஷன்ல கான்சென்ட்ரேட். இப்ப x greater than 1 னா can I say x is greater than -1 also? அப்ப எந்த ஃபங்க்ஷன் எடுக்கணும்? இல்ல x plus 1, x is greater than -1. ஏன்னா ரைட் சைடு த வேல்யூஸ் தான் எடுப்பேன். x is இந்த சைடு எனக்கு தேவையில்லை. ஸோ ஆரோ மார்க் x is greater than -1 ஆரோ மார்க் இந்த பக்கம் இருக்கு. x is greater than 1 ஆரோ மார்க் இந்த பக்கம் இருக்கு. So I should take only those values, no? So அதனால x minus 1 comes for mod of x minus 1. X plus 1 comes from mod of x plus 1. When you solve this, what will you get? 2x. This is how we break the function. So final conclusion என்னன்னு பார்த்தேன்னா இந்த ப்ராப்ளம்க்கு f of x is equal to minus 2x, 2 and 2x, right? When x is greater than or equal to -2, less than 1. When minus 1. X greater than -1 and less than 1, and x greater than 1 and less than or equal. This is how you are going to redefine. See, this problem might appear tough at this point in time because you're directly learning function. Like once you see calculus part and all, it will be very simple. Okay. Not necessarily. That is how you break it. That is called as breaking the function. It's not a set. It's like breaking the function and writing the 3 different functions for 3 different domains. Sure. Clear with this? Yeah. See, there is one simple problem asked here. I just need 5 to 10 more minutes so that it will be helpful for your exam. So f of x is equal to 1 minus x, 1 and x plus 1. If x is less than 0, x is equal to 0, x is greater than 0. Okay. So if this is how the function is defined, draw the graph for this function. Okay, if you see, where is the breaking point? 0, no? So basically what you're supposed to do is, you take a graph sheet. This is x, x dash, y, y dash. Check at x is equal to 0. X is equal to 0, y is 1. So it is here. So x greater than 0, it is x plus 1. So x plus 1 means the graph will be a straight line like this. X plus 1 will be a straight line like this. 1 minus x. So why did I draw the graph for x plus 1 only on the right? Because they themselves told no, when x is greater than 0. X greater than 0 means it should fall in the first quadrant or the fourth quadrant. But since x plus 1 is going to, as you keep substituting the value of x, no, substitute x is equal to 1, 2, 3, the value of y will increase. So it will go in the upward direction. Similarly, you look at 1 minus x, you substitute the value of x. Suppose you start with minus 1. Why minus 1? Because x should be less than 0. When you substitute minus 1, you will get 2. When you substitute minus 3, you will get 4. So how will the graph look like? So basically this function is nothing but mod of x plus 1. It's something similar. No, I don't think it is mod of x plus 1. No, sorry. It's not mod of x plus 1. Had it been minus 1 minus x, it is mod of x plus 1. Did you understand? X equal to 0, this one, no? This dot. It's not the line, it is the dot. About the, it's better, see, graph sheet or better, but the graph sheet they don't give you for you to understand. You all have graph sheet at home. Just try to draw it on a graph sheet. At least 2-3 graphs draw and see, you will get a perspective of what it is. All these things you will be learning in the chapter called as limits, 11th chapter. You are able to understand. Okay, this a last problem. This is also simple. So they asked a question: G is equal to 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 5, and 4, 7. Is this relation a function or not? Is this relation a function? Why? Because all the first elements are unique, right? So if this is described by the relation g of x is equal to alpha x plus beta, then what value should be assigned to alpha and beta? G of x is equal to alpha x plus beta na, the x is the g of x. When you put x is equal to 1, g of 1 is equal to, inge kuda 1 no, it is alpha plus beta. What is g of 1? It is 1. So which implies alpha plus beta is 1. Adhe mari, tell me what is g of 2? 2 alpha plus beta is equal to 3, which implies 2 alpha plus beta is equal to 3. What is G of 3? 3 alpha plus beta, which should be equal to 5. G of 4. So 4 alpha plus beta is 7. There is a linear equation in 2 variables. 2 equations are sufficient. 4 are there. Solve it, you will get the answer. So basically, alpha will be equal to 2 and beta will be equal to -1. Understood? Got your doubts clear? Domain, modulus function range எப்பவுமே சரி நான் டைரக்டாவே சொல்லிடுறேன். ஓகே, f of x is equal to mod x இருக்குன்னு வெச்சுக்கோங்க. x would see if you guys have no doubt you can leave. We can wind up. Those who have doubt alone can stay back. Okay, so x belongs to R. Similarly, mod x would range வந்து it is always greater than or equal to 0. So f of x is always greater than or equal to 0. So range வந்து 0 to infinity. இது வரைக்கும் புரியுதா? So இப்போ இதுவே question வந்து f of x is equal to mod of x minus 1 ன்னு கேக்குறான்னு வெச்சு. Domain without a shadow of doubt just real number, that's it. Modulus குள்ள என்ன வேணாலும் இருக்கு. Except it is a fraction, except it's a rational function. If it is an algebra, if it is a polynomial function, domain is R. Mostly inside modulus they will not give you quadratic and all. At least for 11th standard, they will give you linear functions. இப்போ இதோட range என்னன்னு பார்த்தனா, range will start from 1 to infinity. One minute. So mod of x minus 1, no, it is 0. Sorry. It is still 0 to infinity. It is still 0 to infinity. Mod of x minus 1 graph will look like this. இது புரியுதா? இது clear-ஆ? இப்போ இதே question f of x is equal to mod x minus 1 ன்னு கொடுக்குறாங்க. Mod x minus 1. So mod of x minus 1 is different from mod x minus 1. Domain is real number. Domain மாறாது. Range என்ன ஆகும்னா, range will be from -1 to infinity. How I told -1 to infinity directly is, what is the least value mod can take? இப்போ பாரு, அதனால தான் basic definition is very important. Least value that a modulus function can take is 0. So on the least value தூக்கிட்டு போய் இங்க substitute பண்ணு. 0 போட்டா f of x is coming out as -1. So mod x minus 1 ல least value is -1. அதனால தான் இங்க -1 போட்டுருக்கு. And highest value is always infinity. இந்த மூணு புரிஞ்சுதா? This is how you deal. See, if it comes like a combination of that problem, அது tough. அதுல வந்து they have to define the domain. அப்படி கொடுக்க மாட்டாங்க. So these are the three possibilities in which they can give. Just for my satisfaction, tell me what will be the domain and range of this thing, mod of x plus 1. Domain is R, range 0 to infinity. Mod x plus 3. Domain is R, range is 3 to infinity. So mod x you should substitute 0. 3 to infinity is the range. Then our least value of mod is always 0. 3 to infinity. 3 is included, infinity is not in. Order. Clear with this? See, இவ்வளோலாம் கேட்பாங்களே எனக்கு தெரியாது, but okay, if at all they ask, you should be in a position to handle it. Apart from that, just go with your NCERT and go through the videos. That itself is sufficient. Okay. See, those who are online, clear? Wait. Those who are online, are you clear?